वेलकम फ्रेंड्स टू रेन ड्रॉप एकेडमी। आज हम लोग नंबर सिस्टम में आगे करेंगे, दैट इज एक्सरसाइज 1.3 को हम लोग करेंगे। तो अभी तक हम लोग 1.1 एंड 1.2 पढ़े हैं, जिसका मैं फटाफट रिकैप कर देता हूँ। 1.1 में हमने रैशनल नंबर्स पढ़ा। सो व्हाट इज रैशनल नंबर्स? नंबर्स दोज व्हिच कैन एक्सप्रेस्ड इन पी बाई क्यू फॉर्म। ये तो डेफिनेशन हो गया। व्हाट डज इट इंक्लूड? इट इंक्लूड्स ऑल द होल नंबर, then whole number means 0 to 100, 0 to infinity, then all the natural numbers 1 to infinity, and then उसके साथ में fractional numbers like 1 by 4, 3 by 4, mixed fraction 3 by 4, इस तरह का। these are all rational numbers। क्यों? क्योंकि इनको p by q फॉर्म में लिख सकते हैं। एंड देन उसके बाद में हमने 1.2 में पढ़ा those number which cannot be written in p by q form, cannot, so these are known as irrational number। जैसे √2, √3, these are irrational number। even pi is an irrational number। उसका approximate value 22/7 है, but exact value is not 22/7। so इस तरह से हमने रैशनल और इरेशनल नंबर को पूरा पढ़ा। तो रैशनल प्लस इरेशनल नंबर इज नोन एज रियल नंबर्स। सो नंबर लाइन को भी आपको पता होगा, ध्यान होगा कि हमने पढ़ा था, इट इज नोन एज रियल नंबर लाइन। सो व्हाई? बिकॉज इट रिप्रेजेंट्स ऑल द पॉइंट इन ए नंबर लाइन। mark it friends, this is very important। all the points in the real number line represents a real number, means either a rational or a irrational, either it is representing a rational number or a irrational। so यहाँ तक का हमने कर लिया। exercise 1.1 and 1.2 was the task for you friends। आज हम लोग एक्सरसाइज 1.3 की ओर बढ़ेंगे। सो हियर आई क्लोज माय वीडियो, देन यू विल बी वाचिंग माय स्क्रीन। थैंक यू फ्रेंड्स। आप स्क्रीन को आप मेरे देखिए। Okay friends, so now we go to my screen and what we are going to learn। yes, so we are going to learn real numbers। real numbers again, rational and irrational both are known as real numbers and their decimal expansion। so अब देखिए, suppose if I write 0.25, okay, so what is this? This is equal to 25 by 100। so this is what? p by q form। okay, अगर इसको और simplest form में डालते हैं तो 5 5s are 25, 520, so this becomes 1 by 4। so 1 by 4 is the simplest p by q form for 0.25। so what is this? so 1 by 4, in the other words we can say 1 by 4, which is a fraction or fractional number, उसका decimal representation is what? 0.25। ठीक है? So in this way you can write any decimal number, let it be say 0.365। so what is the representation? It is 365 by so many zeros, 1 2 3 and put a 1। now for expressing it into simplest form, you will divide it by 5 and simplest form you will get। so then this is the simplest form, or the fraction is vice versa। 365 by 1000 is in the decimal connotation or repetition decimal number, it is written as 365 by 1000 is written as 0.365। okay friends, so now these are all terminating decimals। what kind of decimal numbers are these? These are terminating। why these are terminating? means after a point there is nothing। so these are, means when the, suppose you take 1 by 4, okay, 1 by 4, how you express it in decimals? Divide 0, so you get a 0 and then point, so you put a 10 here, 4 2s are 8, you get a 2 and 20, and 4 5s are 20। so what I want to show you is that the remainder is here 0, or this means this is actually 0, 0 is the remainder, but sometimes you don't get a 0 as a remainder। so can you think of any example whereby you don't get a 0 as a remainder? okay, suppose, just think, okay, I will give you an example। suppose we take this example, say 1 by 3, will you get a 0? no। why? you will get 3 like 0 here we put, so when we put a point it becomes 10, so 3 3s are 9, again you get 1 10, so again 9, again 10, so this 3 will keep on there, repeating. So this is non-terminating, but this is repeating. Okay, it is not terminating. Here it is after decimal is after when we divide, we get a terminating, means we get a 0. But here we are not getting a 0. So how we write this thing? We write this thing as 0.333, then we put dash, or sometimes we write it 0.3 bar. So what does this bar indicates? So this bar indicates that the 3 is being repeated. So these are actually non-terminating and repeating. So friends, you remember I have told you in my definition that non-terminating and this non-repeating are rational numbers. So what are fractional? What are they are irrational numbers. So what are rational numbers? Rational numbers are opposite. Either they are terminating or they are non-repeat, or they are sorry, they are repeating. Means here this is repeating. 0.3 bar is repeating, or they are terminating like 0.25. So these are rational numbers. Irrational numbers, just opposite of it, non-terminating, non-repeating. So now we will go to 3 important questions. We'll solve it. Actually, these are one of the same important questions. So you will just learn a new concept. Okay. So we go to the new slide, and here we will do this problem for you, and you will see how it has to be done. So first example we take, the first example, suppose like we take this, we start with the same question which we have already solved, but we take it and then we know the concept, then we use that concept in the subsequent questions. So the first question is, if 0.3 bar has to be written in a P by Q form. P by Q form. Okay. So write 0.3 by in the P by Q form. Okay. So how we do it? See, we take it like x is equal to 0.3 bar. Fine. So now you multiply it with 10. So what you get? 10x. Here what you get? 10 into 0.3 bar. So same, we write it here as 10x is equal to 3.3 bar. Okay, so this is equation 2. And equation 1, friends, is here. This is equation 1. Okay, so now you got 2 equations. Why I have done this? See, my aim is to bring this thing after decimal. There should be only the repeated things. Okay, the repetition is only here 3. So after decimal, there is only one thing which is getting repeated, and equation 2 and 1. So we can get equation 2 minus equation 1. What will happen? You just see. So right hand side, if we minus 10x minus x, we know the answer. What about the this is the left hand side, and what about the right hand side? Right hand side, we are minusing this. This is equation 1, this is equation 2. So here we know 10x minus x is nothing but 9x. What about this? See, this is actually how we are writing it, this thing, because the 3 is repeated. So if we get rid of this repeated thing, then we are very good to go. So what we get, this 3 bar, 3.3 minus 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, and so on. So what you get, if you apply minus, everything will become 0, means after decimal you will get a 0. And here nothing is there, so you get a 3. So what you get, an equation 9x is equal to 3. So what is the value of x? X is equal to 3 by 9. This is also P by Q form for, as we have discussed, P by Q form for 0.3 bar. But if we have to express it in the simplest form, so we write it as 1 by 3. If we divide the numerator and the denominator, so this is the way we get the fractional equivalent of a decimal which is repeating. So this question is very important, friends, because this type of questions will be asked in entrance exam also. Now we solve same questions, but bit typical one. We open a new slide and then we will solve it for you. Okay. So now suppose we say x is equal to 1.27 bar. So what is this? This is, you have to write in P by Q form. Okay. So this thing we have to write it in P by Q. So friends, you see here what is the beauty about this thing. Here 1 is outside the decimal and this 27 is inside the decimal, which is getting repeated. So what we do, we don't write it as x. We have to say, do one very important thing here. Suppose we multiply it with 100x. What will happen? It will become 127. This 7 will come after decimal points will be shifting here. First, second, then this point, and then this 27, 27, 27 means 27 bar. Okay, we can remove this and we can write this 27 bar. This is 1. Okay, equation 1. Then we do, this take it as equation 2. This is equation 1. Okay, because see, I told you that we have to have that repeating part just after the decimal. So what happens? Again, you do the same thing. What you did, equation 2 minus equation 1. What you get? You get 100x minus x, that is 99x. And here what you get? 127.27 bar minus 1.27 bar. So after the decimal, you get a what? You get removed of this repeating thing. So what you get? 127 minus 1 or 126. So finally what you get? X is equal to 126 by 19. So this is the P by Q form for 1.27 bar. And if you want to, suppose you see this, both can be still 3 4s are 12, then 3 2s are 6, and 3 3s are 9. Okay. Still, if you want, 3 1s are 3, 3 4s are 12, and 14 by 11 is the simplest form of P by Q form for what? For 1.27 bar. So even if it is repeating, means a repeating decimal can also be written in P by Q form. Only thing which cannot be written in P by Q form is an irrational number, which is non-terminating, neither it is finishing and neither it is repeating. If it is finishing, very good, like 1.1 by 4 or 0.25 is the equivalent of that. And if it is not terminating, but it is repeating, like 1.27 bar, still it can be written in P by Q form. So these are rational numbers, but irrational numbers cannot be written in P by Q form. Now we solve one more example, which is there in your book, and then we will do the exercise, or you will be doing the exercise. So we take your example from your book and we finish it off, because these questions are very much important. Means these questions are important in exam point of view, as well as this type of questions are asked in entrance. So if they ask you this question, x is equal to 0.235 and the bar is above only 35. So what is happening here? Here is, it is a third case whereby the bar is happening after some part is repeated, this part is repeating, this part is not repeating. So you have to write it in what? Again, you have to write a P by Q form. P by Q form means fractional form. Okay. So here you don't take this as x, you can take this as 10x. Why I'm doing this, I will let you know. So 10x means this thing will come out of decimal and this will be repeating part here. So this is equation 1. So what happens, I told you our aim will be to have only the repeating part after the decimal in the equation 1. And in equation 2, you can multiply to remove the bar. You have to multiply it with this equation with 100. Means 10x 100 multiplied by equation 1. 10x. So what will be 100 multiplied by 2.35 bar? In book, the slightly different process is given, but you see this process will be easier for you to understand. So what you get, 1000 x is equal to 235.35 bar, because this is not ending. So this is equation 2. Now you do 2 minus 1. What you get? You get it as 1000 minus 10x. So you get 990x. 1000 minus 10x in the left hand side of the equation. And in right hand side, you get 235 minus 2. Why? This part is gone. This repeated part is gone. Okay. So you get 235 minus 2. So what you get? 990x is equal to 233. Now it is very easy. X is equal to 233 by 990. So this is the P by Q form for the above repeating thing, repeating decimal. And in repeating decimal, some part was getting repeated, some part was not getting repeated. So what we did, the non-repeating part has to be out of the decimal and the repeating part has to be just after the decimal. So this is important. Just after the decimal, there should be the repeating part. So once you get, then you multiply so that your repeating part is just after the decimal, and the repeating part, this is 35, is coming in the right hand side, or sorry, on this side of the decimal. So 2 minus equation 1, you get this thing, and finally you got the answer. Okay, so this is the answer for your, and these questions, mind you friend, is very much important, as I am telling you that this is coming in the entrance exam also. So in entrance exam, they if somebody is preparing for entrance exam, they will tell you that directly you have to do like this 235 minus, you do this part which is not repeated, and for repeated part you put as many nines, and for non-repeated part as many zeros. So they tell you how this answer is being derived, but they don't tell you the concept behind it. So they just teach you the last step of the equation or the last thing of the whole solution, but they don't tell you how the solution is being done. So for friends to know the questions conceptually, just be with me and like my videos and subscribe to my videos so that you get the updates of my videos. So thank you friends. You can go with your this thing, the next exercise 1.3, and you can do the questions in the your exercise 1.3. If any doubt is there, you can ask me. And in 1.2 exercise, there was a question. So how to represent, I'll just write it down, root 5 on number line. Number line. So I tell you friends, to represent root 5, what you need to represent? First, you need to represent n minus 1. N minus 1 is, if n is 5, so you have to represent root 4. Once you represent root 4, first you represent root 2, then root 3, then root 4, then you will get root 5. So this was the hint for representing root 5. And you can do that very easily. So friends, I'm putting an end to my video here. Good luck. And we will be doing after this in the next video, we will be proceeding further. Thank you, friends.